Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining today's webinar where we're going to highlight how Imprivata addresses some of the most common and troubling challenges that organizations face when trying to support mobile workflows. Before I jump in, I wanted to quickly point out that there's a Q&A panel and a chat panel that you should all have access to. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share, please go ahead and enter those there. We'll have time at the end for Q&A, but feel free to enter those at any time. So the vast majority of organizations today are looking to support or better support mobile workflows for their employees. This may be to support access when on the go and out of the network, or maybe it's to support efficiency and real-time access to information throughout daily tasks and responsibilities. The approach often depends on the role of the end user and their workflow needs, right? So regardless of what we see, more often than not, there's a need for a mixed approach between BYOD support and delivering enterprise-owned devices, either in a one-to-one or shared use model. And it's really important that you understand what works best for your organization between budget, workflow, different user roles, security requirements, anything like that. But a mixed approach addresses the needs for the different roles, and it begets adoption. It makes usability something that is easy to achieve. But each one of these comes with their own workflow, security challenges, and risks. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about those challenges and how to address them within Imprivata. So workflow requirements are really the first step in planning for your mobile initiative and understanding the security challenges that you're going to have to work around. Understanding how folks are using mobile tools and where areas of risk can appear. So we're working to achieve real-time access to information from anywhere, right? That's critical for workflow continuity and productivity. And today, employees are using mobile devices for more than ever, whether it's communicating with different team members about critical activities, accessing tools for documentation or status tracking, or for decision-making support. They're also often now delivering critical workflows on these devices. Maybe they're scanning inventory, maybe they're doing task management, or any other one of those really important activities. So ensuring access to these workflows is critical. But maintaining privacy as devices change hands or as information is accessed outside of the network creates challenges in terms of security, data privacy, data integrity, and meeting other mandated compliance requirements. Each time a device is used to access sensitive information, you're open to risk, regardless of whether it's done on a personal device outside of the network or on an enterprise-owned device that remains inside. The fact of the matter is that according to the Verizon data breach studies, the number of mobile device compromises has doubled over the past year alone. And organizations see devices, most often when they're lost, as being one of the biggest risks that an organization can face. Risks here include things like inappropriate access to the network, sensitive data being compromised, compliance fines, and other reputational risks. So what's the best approach to securing these literal moving targets? It's really a standard approach. Mobile devices need to be managed just as you would any other endpoint used to access sensitive information. And then a little bit more on top of that, right? Because they are moving targets, there's other risks involved. You really want a three-pronged approach, which balances strong policies around things like passwords, session timeouts, and multi-factor authentication. Dedicated and thorough education. So this is that people factor, right? Making sure the folks who are using these devices understand the risks, understanding why you're putting workflows and security in place for them, and technology to support the different layers of security that are needed, things like mobile device management systems, access management tools, and other workflows to help ensure the proper levels of protection and compliance. Today, the majority of BYOD devices are not properly locked down, meaning additional layers of authentication, like enforcing second factors across certain applications, is really critical. For shared devices, in addition to security, you need to make sure the correct user is logged in to an application as devices change hands to avoid things like privacy concerns as well as data accuracy and integrity. Strong passwords, short sessions, and multi-factor authentication all support security and privacy, but they can be barriers to access and efficiency for those end users, as is common on traditional endpoints, right? These repetitive manual reauthentications are much harder on mobile devices, and they can interrupt workflow and really challenge adoption. Customers are looking to mobile tools to improve freedom and flexibility of workflow, especially in the face of constrained budgets and personnel resources. However, achieving an efficient workflow experience on mobile devices without compromising security, privacy, and compliance is difficult. Barriers to use created by security requirements hinder usability and threaten adoption, leaving organizations unable to optimize the investments that they've made in this mobile technology. This very challenge is what Imprivata has been dedicated to supporting. Finding the right balance between security and workflow efficiency is at the cornerstone of everything that we do. So extending our digital identity solutions to support mobile workflows was a logical evolution in our approach to security and privacy. We do that by using digital identity as the anchor point because it's the only way to have control over today's hyper-complex landscape of countless users and roles of locations and devices, while providing users with efficient and secure access to the resources that they need. And simply put, digital identity is the common denominator that lives at the core of modern security. And Imprivata has a really solid and strong way of taking this digital identity and supporting all of the different workflows and locations and devices that our users need today. Imprivata delivers security and privacy for mobile devices without compromising on workflow efficiency to solve challenges for both BYOD and enterprise-owned device environments. We leverage digital identity to support security and compliance directly within those mobile workflows, eliminating friction that can impact usability, while at the same time reducing points of exposure on mobile devices and the applications within them. And we're the only platform to support consistency across these two unique mobile use cases, meaning it's a consistent experience for end users and a consistent management experience for IT and mobile teams as well. So let's start by talking a bit more about shared use environments. This is an area that we have seen gain tremendous traction in recent years because it's a really cost-effective way to support frontline workers in their daily tasks. You can manage the devices and the environments more easily than BYOD devices, and the shared model means it's significantly less expensive and easier to maintain than delivering an enterprise-owned device to every single employee. But creating privacy in shared use environments is difficult. Often we see that devices which change hands are left unlocked, opening up a ton of risk and privacy concerns. Or when they are locked down at the device and application level, you're faced with low usage rates, an influx of help desk tickets and users getting locked out, and often underutilized and poorly adopted tools. With Imprivata, we've extended digital identity control to shared devices to support trusted access at the point of the device and application level, as well as drive privacy as those devices are exchanged between users. And so we do this at a few different levels in those mobile workflows, and I'm going to talk through each one of those. So the first step is ensuring privacy in the shared use environments is by making devices unusable to folks who shouldn't have access to them. With Imprivata solutions like ground control and mobile device access, we can enforce the locking of these shared devices and make digital identity the key to unlock them. Users leverage the same badge tap to unlock these devices and effectively assign them to the user. Without those verified and trusted user credentials, the devices can't be accessed and no information inside of them remains open to risk. And by making that access simple and streamlined for the end user, you can support shorter lockout time periods so devices that are assigned but left unattended are not at risk either. So this is really simple and streamlined for those end users. Additional layers of security around application access is no problem with Imprivata as well, because we've extended digital identity onto the devices and created that trust Now the unique integrations between OneSign and the mobile device management system, both ground control and mobile device access can support fast, secure access into those mobile applications without the need for manual authentication. This saves time and frustration for end users like clinicians or frontline workers, supports that personalized experience, right? You're going to get your applications, your credentials in there. You get streamlined access to things like communications, calls and messages, friction-free charting under the right account, and other information specific to your end user, right? And it reduces frustrating and time-consuming scenarios when misentered passwords can lead to lockouts and the need for things like help desk intervention. Something that's really common on mobile devices, right? You think of how difficult it can be to get in and out on a traditional desktop with a full-size keyboard, and now you're going in on the go on these small form factors, entering in your credentials with complex passwords, right, and long usernames, and it's really tricky. So being able to remove the manual steps in this is important to being able to add those layers of security, get the compliance that you want without compromising on that adoption and usability. And the end of the shift workflow experience is equally as important to manage in shared use environments. What happens when a user is done with the shared device for the day? How are you making sure that they're logging out of the different applications and leaving nothing in the wrong state for the next user who picks up that device? Without automation, this requires manual intervention from the end user at the end of their shift. It's difficult to enforce and time-consuming for the user. In the best case, they'll take more time away from their workflow to ensure the apps are logged out. And in the worst case, someone gets the wrong communications, access to the wrong data, compromises the integrity of that data, or worse. With Imprivata, we automate the depersonalization of shared devices to ensure that they're always in the right state for the next user without lengthy manual processes. This helps to improve the end user experience, drive compliance, and promote privacy in these shared use environments, something that traditional workflows managed by MDMs and manual workflows can't support. So Imprivata has two solutions focused on managing shared use environments and driving end user efficiency, both in supporting the management of fleets for IT as well as access management policies in the mobile teams. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into each one of these at a deeper level, but I definitely encourage you to take a look at how Imprivata Ground Control and Imprivata Mobile Device Access can help you in your shared device initiatives, or if that's something that you're thinking about today or looking to improve. Both solutions integrate seamlessly with Imprivata OneSign, which is our enterprise single sign-on and virtual desktop access platform. So for staff, this ensures a fast, familiar, and consistent authentication workflow experience across workstations, maybe virtual desktops, and now mobile devices. The integration also allows IT administrators to set user authentication policies for all systems and workflows from a single centralized platform, which improves compliance reporting, reduces total cost of ownership, and minimizes the IT resources required to administer and manage authentication workflows on these mobile devices. Now, shifting over to the BYOD and personal device experience, Imprivata has developed solutions to ensure workflow consistency and ease of use on personal mobile devices used to access sensitive data and conduct sensitive workflows. By leveraging digital identity to create a one-to-one tie between the trusted user and their personal mobile phone, Imprivata can unlock the power of these devices to support strong authentication and secure access, regardless of the location of the user. Leveraging mobile technology allows organizations to enforce strong authentication in a way that's convenient and familiar for their staff to promote usability and adoption. And finding the right balance is where Imprivata digital identity plays a key role in supporting this dynamic. Imprivata Confirm ID supports remote access workflows, multi-factor authentication, and ensures the ultimate level of trusted compliance that meets regulatory requirements across different workflows. We've developed user-friendly workflows, leveraging native mobile technology like push tokens and facial biometrics, and even hands-free authentication to support friction-free security in various environments. This means that as in an organization, you can enforce tighter security requirements without creating barriers to use. And that trusted digital identity is carried outside of the network to support remote workforce with a consistent experience from anywhere as well. We do this with Imprivata Confirm ID, which improves security by enabling that enterprise-wide two-factor authentication for remote network access, cloud applications, Windows servers, and desktops. It extends those workflows to mobile devices with convenient and security-compliant modalities like hands-free authentication and facial biometrics, which I mentioned, which helps save time and make security invisible for those end users. And really, that is the workflow experience that you want to be able to achieve with mobile devices. Is it's invisible, there's no friction, it's familiar to the different workflows that they're doing on their personal device already, right? When you think about getting into your banking accounts or other things that require two factors of authentication, we want to remove the need for things like hard tokens and additional tools. Now you can do it all within your phone, which streamlines the management, streamlines that access experience, and reduces the number of different tools that folks need to carry around on their tool belt every day. Imprivata Confirm ID similarly is integrated across the Imprivata Digital Identity Platform, and it's the only multi-factor authentication solution to integrate broadly across Imprivata's digital identity platform to deliver an uncompromised and consistent end-user experience, all while reducing the total cost of ownership of the platform with things like streamlined deployment and administration. And so if you're a one-sign customer today, or if you're using identity governance or a number of our other solutions, layering on Imprivata Confirm ID is a really simple and easy extension of the digital identity platform that you've already got in play today. So now what I want to do is shift a little bit again to talk through how a customer is using some of the solutions in our tool bag to help improve their mobile initiatives. This is a story of just one of our customers who's using different pieces of our platform today. The customer is in the southeast coast of the US. It's a health system who was looking to improve mobile communication workflows for their users, spanning various locations, a lot of different applications, many roles, and many workflows that they were trying to support with this communication tool. What they knew, and their ultimate goal of the project, was to create a more unified communication experience for end users. They struggled with disjointed communications that left clinicians struggling to quickly understand who the right person was to reach out to throughout a shift and how best to get a hold of them. They took a look at their tech stack and began to put together a wireframe of how digital identity could be used to assist in improving the mobile communication experience, to ensure that they could streamline the end users, ensure continuity as devices changed hands and user roles shifted throughout the day, all while maintaining privacy and security without interrupting workflow. It was no small task for sure, but they were sure that digital identity was going to play a key role in making this all work. So supporting digital identity across mobile devices fit firmly into the foundation that they had already built with the Imprivata platform, leveraging tools like identity governance to manage user provisioning and application credentialing. Identity governance then fed into how they support secure but efficient authentication workflows using one sign across those traditional endpoints and applications. And finally, they look to extend those familiar workflows into ground control, which supported shared device management by leveraging digital identity to quickly assign devices to those trusted individuals and remove manual access workflows to facilitate secure and seamless exchange of devices between users without compromising the privacy or workflow. In the fall of 2021, the organization rolled out ground control with integrations into OneSign to support their shared mobile communications challenges. Their aim was to streamline communications using the collaboration suite that they had in place across almost 3,000 shared mobile devices. Today, they use ground control to manage that inventory with about 5,700 users a day checking out devices to access their mobile applications used in communication workflows and other things above and beyond communication as well. So with the solution, they've not only been able to streamline communications, but they consolidated the number of communication tools that clinicians had at the time as well. They really unified that experience, and they also saw improved adoption of other mobile tools like Epic Rover. Above and beyond the time savings and efficiency of streamlining access to the mobile devices and applications that Ground Control brought, they were able to create a personalized device experience across the shared devices. They improved the communication workflows, supported data privacy, and drove adoption of these tools. So they were able to better optimize the investments that they had already made in these mobile devices, in these communication tools, and in other mobile tools that were really critical to workflow. And I'd be remiss if I didn't quickly call out the improvements for IT outside of that end user experience, including things like reduced device loss, which is a huge financial concern, streamlined authentication and management, and time savings for IT and mobile teams responsible for this large and very geographically dispersed fleet of devices. And so just to summarize one last time, Imprivata delivers this frictionless security to ensure privacy across both shared and BYOD mobile devices, which is a common combination of tools that most organizations are going to need to support. We do this by enforcing authentication at the device and application level, supported by digital identity, so that you can extend the same digital identity-driven access and authentication workflows that users are already familiar with to these mobile workflows. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions from the audience. And while folks are thinking through those, please, definitely go check out our website. We've got a page, imprivata.com/mobile, that's dedicated to understanding how to improve the different mobile workflows in your environment. Take a look at these. You can see how some other customers have used us in the past as well, to really change the way that they are approaching mobile. I'm going to pause for a second just to see if we have any questions that come in. Please, again, there is a chat and a Q&A in the bottom of your panel that you'll see on the screen. It looks like we had one question come up around EPCS, which for those of you who are not familiar, electronic prescribing of controlled substances. And yes, our ConfirmID workflows that our authentication workflows that happen on mobile devices are EPCS compliant. So you need to have a combination of something you are, something you have, and something you know. And so we've worked to make sure that those workflows for clinicians looking to prescribe controlled substances electronically can be supported by those mobile devices. Another question around shared devices. Can you, the ask is around which devices we support. So we support a broad number of devices. We support both iOS and Android operating systems across a broad number of devices, depending on whether you're looking at Ground Control for asset tracking and management, in addition to the user access management or mobile device access. We can work with you to, I'll probably have someone follow up with the specific question to understand what devices you have in place. We've got a very long list. It's all on our website, and we can share that link out as well. But, we support the vast majority of popular devices that you'd see in these shared use environments today, as well as operating systems and integrations with the vast majority of major MDM solutions as well. Okay, with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up in the interest of time. Again, if you have any questions that come up after the fact, please feel free to reach out. You can shoot an email to one of your account managers or information@imprivata.com, and someone will be happy to follow up. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.